How to do the two-way ANOVA. I already uploaded my file, so I don't go through that again. And here you can see how the data looks like for a two-way ANOVA. So we have a column that represents our two groups. In this case is the grip, the type of grip of the hand, which is traditional and reverse. And there are three measurements. So in each, for each grip, I have the two groups. One group was with the traditional grip, one group was with the reverse grip, and I have three measurements. I measure the grip after 30, 50 or 70 days of strength training. RM30, RM50, RM70 correspond to this. So the days after the training. So I go here and I click on repeated measures ANOVA. I have to add one level. And here I put RM 30, 50 and 70. My between subject factor is the grip. And this is the result. So it's very straightforward in the sense that what you have to do is just to check, we check two things. One is the thing that is called main effect and the thing that is called interaction. So the main effect is, in this case, the overall effect of testing the strength in 3 different times in different days, and we saw that there's a main effect. So testing the force after 30, 50 or 70 days led to a different force result, and we have an interaction which is which means, and it's significant because it's less than 0.05, and this means that actually there is a change of strength according to the grip. Okay, now we know that there is also a main effect of the grip, in the sense that in this case the type of grip affects the type of force exerted, okay, independently of when it was measured. So in this case the JASP takes all the data of all the measurements that we did, they collapse that, and they compare the data of grip traditional versus grip reversed. Okay, so we have two main effects, one of the day that is measured and one of the grip type. Now I want to see first the descriptive statistics. So I want to put the grip as my horizontal axis and separate the line by the factors. And here you can see a very nice thing. So this is the result. I don't know why it's not enlarging. With the two grips, we have reverse and traditional grip. And here you have the two levels. So let's see what it means. So this is the level. These two dots are the level 1, which correspond to, let me check, the measure of the force after 30 days. And as you can see, the level of the force after 30 days is pretty high, okay? The level of the, independently of the grip. But if you look at the grip, the reverse has a lower force than traditional. In level 2, again, we have a slightly lower force. So after 50 days, it looks like that the force is lower is lower compared to after 30 days. And there is again a trend where the reverse grip is lower in force than the traditional. At the last one is the level 3, which is the repeated measure, the data after 70 days, and the grip force again is lower in the reverse compared to the traditional. Now, what we check now is which is different than which. So we have a main effect of grip, and the main effect of grip consider the mean of all this data versus the mean of all this data. And what I expect is to find the grip in the traditional to be higher than the grip of the reverse. Okay. The main effect of the day is basically collapsing the data between the two grips, okay? And is the average of these versus the average of these versus the average of these two, okay? And it looks like at level 1, the force is higher than in level 2 and level 3, okay? And then we have the interaction. The interaction means that inside each group, reverse and traditional, we have different level of forces, and for each level 1, 2, or 3, which are the measurements at 30, 50, or 70 days, we have differences in force between reverse and traditional grip. We have now to check it by running the post-hoc test and see what is different than what. So post-hoc test, we put our main effect of the type of the days, main effect of grip, and the interaction. And we want the Bonferroni correction. Now this is calculating that, and here you have all the comparisons, okay? Now if you check the here you have the post-hoc test. First we start from the first. So this is the comparison between the levels, so the days when the test is done. So we see that level 1 is different than level 2, level 1 is different than level 3, and level 2 is different than level 3. So it means that the force exerted at level 1, so after 30 days, is higher than level 2 and is higher than level 3. But also the force at level 2, so after 50 days, is higher than the force after 70 days. As you can see here, they are different between each other. Now, this is one main effect. The second main effect was the grip, reverse versus traditional. And reverse versus traditional says that there is a difference with the reverse being lower than the traditional. And you can see it by here, because I don't know if you remember from the t-test, the t-value basically is the difference between the two mean. And if you put the mean of one group before the other, the result can change based on the order of which you put the groups. And in this case, it's like there is a minus here. So reverse minus traditional. And it says that the mean difference is minus 0.27. It means that the reverse has a lower value than the traditional. And you can see it from the graph. So if you take the average of this, and you take the average of this is higher than this. Okay, so the average of these three values would be around here, and the average of these three values would be around here. So you will have a line here that says, oh, the reverse grip is lower than the traditional. Okay. Now, here's where the things comes a bit more complicated. Okay. In the sense that you have to see the comparison for each row. So, considering the reverse grip at level 1 and the traditional grip at level 1, which are these two data points here, reverse grip at level 1 and traditional grip at level 1, the test says that there is no difference. So within the level 1, we don't have any differences between traditional and reverse grip. So at week, let's say after 30 days of training. Now, let's see the comparison with the reverse of level 2 compared to the traditional of level 2, which is this comparison here. And are these data here, this point and this point. So the data says that there is no difference because the p-value is higher than 0.05. So the force at level 2 with the reverse grip is the same as the force at level 2 with the traditional grip. Sorry, the force after 50 days in the reverse grip is the same as the force after 50 days in the traditional grip. Now, let's see the level 3, which is this one. So here we have a significant value, p-value. So the force at after 70 days of grip training is different than the force after 70 days of grip training of level of traditional grip. So, and you can see it here from these 2 points. So the reverse grip, the force after 70 days of training is lower than with the traditional grip. Okay, that's it. Now let's see instead the comparison. We have seen now the comparison of reverse and traditional within each level. Let's see now what happened within each grip. So if level 1 of the reverse is different than level 3 of the reverse and is different than level 2 of the reverse, and you can check it from here. So we have reverse level 1 and reverse level 2, and we go here and we see that they're not different. So these 2 data points, which is the grip force after 30 and 50 days of training, they give almost the same result. So there is no statistical difference. But if we compare the level 1 with the level 3 of the reverse, which is this line here, there is a difference. So level 1 is statistically higher, is significantly higher, sorry, than level 3 of the reverse grip, which is this. Okay, so after 70 days, your force is lower than after 30 days. Okay? Now, let's see inside the traditional grip. So I compare the traditional level 1 with the traditional level 2. Oh, and I see that it is strongly significant. It's way, way lower than 0.05. So I go to check in my graph. Traditional level 1 and level 2 are these 2 points here. It means that in contrast to the reverse, where these 2 points were similar, in traditional we have a difference. So after 30 days of strength training, the grip of the hand is stronger than after 50 days. Okay, I can see the difference of level 1 compared to level 3 now. So I go here, level 1 compared to the level 3, again there is a strong difference. Okay, so I can see that the strength is much lower after 30 days of strength training compared to after 70 days of strength training compared to after 30 days. Okay, 30 days gives rise to a higher force. Now there should be I think we touch all the points and all the comparison that we could have made. So the there's one that is missing, that is level 2 against level 3 here of the traditional, and you have it here. So traditional level 2 versus traditional level 3 is also significant, as you can see from these 2 points. So this point is higher than this. So after 50 weeks of strength training, your force is higher than after 70 weeks. Okay, the force of the group is higher with the traditional. This doesn't happen with the reverse. If you see, this happens with the reverse. So if you check level 2 of the reverse versus level 3, again, it is statistically significant. So these 2 points are different between each other. So after 50 days of training, you have higher force than after 70 days of training. Okay, that's it. There are other comparisons that the system made, but I don't think have sense, because it compared the traditional level 1, for instance, compared to the reverse level 3, which is statistically significant, which is this point of traditional against this. But in this case, I don't know what it means, in the sense that this is it depends on your research question. So if you think that you had to address whether there was any difference between the grip force after 30 days of training with the traditional grip compared to the grip force after 70 days of training with the reverse grip, that you check this comparison. Otherwise, you don't check it. It depends always on your research question. Okay. Here you can also have the rain cloud plots, and you can put the data in this way. So in this way you have two plots, one for each grip. In this case you have the reverse grip and the traditional grip, and your horizontal axis has the the measurement done at different time points, so 30 days, 50 days and 70 days. And here you can see the relationship between the three for each subject. As you can see here, there are two subjects that lower down the force here, and lower even more here from level 2 to level 3. There are a bunch of them which stay stable between level 1 and level 2 and then drop down when they have to go to level 3. Here there is a little increase on this subject and then a decrease for the reverse grip. Okay. Here in this graph you can see a different pattern of result. These are very variable in the sense that this participant here drop down the force at from 30 to 50 days and then stay stable at from 50 to 70. This one is stable from 30 to 50 and then drop down at 70. So as you can see, these plots are very informative about how the data points are connected together when you do repeated measures. So these are the same subject tested 3 times. So you see the individual changes by checking at these lines. Okay. Again, here you have the distributions. You have a bit of weird distribution here. Okay. Just check that again when you have to run the data. But this is the main analysis of repeated measures ANOVA two-way. The take-home message of that, I think, is keep your experiment as simple as possible to reduce the number of comparisons that you have to do, because as you saw, the more comparison and the more factors you put in your analysis, the more complicated it is to read the analysis and check the results. So good experiment design helps to prevent all these kind of issues when you have to interpret the data analysis.